there, folks. Welcome back to the worst Warmachine channel on the internet. I'm Malorian, and it's time for another Warmachine battle report. This will be another War Table one. It's going to be one from the online Canadian tournament I'm in, and this is now going to be up against Mark Burkers from Ontario. Now, he was running a Rayvn and a Rayvn list. For those who don't know, I'm going to be doing a Magnus and Ashlyn list, and really looking at it, even though I'd love to drop Ashlyn because she would get to shoot up all that Rayvn stuff, well, really, based on what I'm seeing here, it really makes sense for him to be dropping his Rayvn list because he can shoot, he has countermeasures, and I mean, shooting is stuff that Magnus doesn't like. And so, like we kind of thought, the end-up matchup is going to be Magnus2 up against Rayvn. Now, my Magnus2 list, again, for a reminder, is the Blockader. I got triple of the Toros. I got Gatsby with the Nomad, and then, of course, the mix of the solos there. Now, for Mark on the other side, he is going to be running Rayvn, like we said. It's going to be having the Hyperion. There's also going to be a Hypnos, and there's going to be 2 of the Tridents, and then, mix of other stuff. But the biggest thing here is also going to be that unit there, the Defenders, which can be very annoying. But we'll talk about that when it comes up. So let's look at the board. The board here is actually a very good one for me in terms of the scenario, because bunkers with the 3 flags and all the ways to score means that I have a very good shot here of just blitzing up the board, capturing everything, and saying score, win. In fact, I did win the initiative like I should with this list, because with Anastasia I'm getting +1, with the theme I'm getting the reroll, so I should just be able to rush up there, take my lickings, and then do some nasty stuff. So I went for first. He decided to take that side up there. I mean, the 2 sides are pretty similar, to be fair. So I don't think it really mattered who took go what side. I think, in fact, his side's probably worse because it has the water there. But again, it doesn't really matter. His side's better for the center flag. That's for sure. Anyway, what I plan to do is, like I said, get up there and really set up my solos to be capturing that flag. I'm really looking at trying to push to get a win on the 3rd turn, really. So on my first turn, that's what I start doing. I have Escort onto Magnus, I have Bullet Dodger onto Gatsby, I charge forward, I run forward, and I'm all at a spot where if he wants to go up and shoot me, he can't. I mean, okay, for the most part. So he does have snipe, so he can go up there and he can shoot that way, and he also has the ability to from a spell from Rayvn, basically get a free shot with one of his jacks. So he could run up with a jack and then shoot with it, but I mean, that's really all he's going to get. So I'm at the point where things can't shoot at me normally, and otherwise I'm even past where just like regular go up and snipe can't shoot me. So the Hyperion might be able to run up, but that's going to be all I'm going to be taking. And you can already see where I need to be setting this up so that I'm going around all these forests and things, but I'm trying to make sure that I have a good assortment of solos that can go for either of the flags on whatever I need to go for. So on his turn, he is going to go up, and he is going to run up with the sniped Hyperion. He'll get the free shot, and then it is going to scatter, unfortunately, and kill my Tinker. Now, I really thought that he'd be trying to shoot one of my Toros and get that damage in early. He decided just to try and go for a shot onto Magnus, and I probably should have thought of that. I should have spaced out more for that shot. I was just making a lazy assumption that he'd be going for my jacks, and now I'm down a solo. Now, I'm not done lots of solos or anything, but it's something I am going to have to keep in mind because I am going to go for this scenario blitz. Now, let's look at this situation here. The situation as it presents itself gives me 2 options. If I was to charge up in feet now, I'm only going to be, for the important models, I'm only going to be catching really the Hyperion and the Trident on the right. Now that's okay. However, if I'm doing this, what's really going to happen is that all those defenders on the left are going to come just flooding through. They're just going to do a run. They're going to get into my face, if not just charging into me. And then past that as well, they all have defense. What is it, like some really good defense. You get a +2 defense when they're base to base and can't be knocked down and tough. So they can be really, really annoying to try and clear. And so I'll be in a spot where I don't know if I can clear them that well. And they could probably very easily be contesting the center flag, the left flag, and making it so I can't get to his zone that easily or destroy his objective. So I'm in a spot where if I hold back, I'm probably going to be taking multiple rounds of shooting. He'll get to shoot me on his turn. I won't be able to really break through. He'll get to shoot me again. And that's just not really good for me. So after looking at this, I decided to go for something interesting. I'm going to do a throwaway Colossal. I'm going to say, hey, I have a spot to be charging your Rayvn. It's not a good one. He's, Rayvn's camping 2. There's a Hermit to stop one of them. It's across the wall. But hey, I'm going to look scary, and I'm going to put this big blockader in your face right away. Past that, though, I'm really setting myself up for the scenario. So let's look at this more after my feat turn. So my side of 2, that's what I do. I charge up there with the blockader. I had to also allocate it 2 more just so it could actually, have a chance, boost to hit both the initials, actually look the scary part that I want it to be. And so, as it turns out, I don't connect with either of them, so you didn't have to even use the Hermit. Otherwise, I'm going up there with Magnus, popping my feet, again, catching some of these pieces, saying that they can't go left, can't go down, so the Hyperion can't get on to me. And otherwise, yeah, I'm setting up my Toro so that they're up there to really just make sure that everything can't really get to Magnus unless he somehow shoots through a Toro first. I go up there with Gatsby, and Gatsby is not really in a great spot. I don't want to move him all the way to the far right. I need him to be threatening whatever goes to contest the flag on the left. So I come up here, pop my 2 clouds. The objective he took was the true sight, so something will get to shoot him, and so that is on the scary side. But yeah, otherwise I'm setting up my solos again to be threatening things. I didn't really want to put anything on the center flag yet because I figured that anything that was there, he probably would kill. Maybe I was giving too much credence to it. Looking back, I think also that Widget should not have been even in the cloud at all, should have been behind. But I kind of figured that if he was trying to shoot with the AoE against Gatsby, I didn't want to be in that little pocket, so I want to be kind of further over. So I don't like where Widget is, but that's where I put her. Otherwise, yeah, I'm set up so that the Nomad will be getting my own, and if he messes up at all, I can be countercharging something into his zone. So on his turn, he starts off, his defenders start going and charging into the blockader. Hypnos is going to go into the blockader. This is, of course, after Hermit did its thing, so it's already pretty damaged. And then this is where it starts trying to kill my stuff, of course. He goes with the Hyperion, which got the true sight, and it starts shooting against Gatsby and doing some fairly okay damage. One of the things that really showed my laziness is that again, Widget should not have been there, and she was a little bit too close, and so she died to the blast. It was dumb. I even pushed her further over, thinking it was going to be outside the blast. I didn't measure it, and so now she's dead. Gatsby was limping pretty hard after that, and so Mark tried to really find a way to find something else that could shoot him, but there's just no way with those 2 clouds that the other Tridents can get shots in, so that's really good. I think the Trident might have been able to do it from the top if he would have positioned things a little bit differently, but of course he really wants a Trident down by the left flag here. So it came down and it took some shots against my Nomad, did some damage against it. The Trident on the right side shoots at the Toro on the far left. Yeah, the number 1, the one that actually has things out. And then it also moves up Scythe. Now, the reason why he moved up Scythe is because I forgot that Scythe can just shoot through forests, and he's able to get a line of sight from Scythe where she can aim and be shooting against Gatsby, and that would have been awful. I mean, I knew I was going to be taking some shooting, probably from Hyperion, and I thought I could survive that, especially because if he misses anything, I can bullet dodge her away, but I did not think about taking some stuff from Scythe as well. Now, luckily, after he did that placing with Scythe, he moved up one of his Arcanists, and then I go and I countercharge. And in countercharging, I'm able to get into the Arcanist, which I didn't connect and kill, but more importantly, I go and I tie up Scythe. So now Scythe can only shoot that Toro, and that was fantastic. He almost did a double oops here, where with Scythe, he decided to move it back, and it was in a spot where I could countercharge a number 2, which now I could definitely get into the zone. Number 3, because the angles, and I had them side by side, I couldn't charge over to the zone, but getting into the zone and going for the scenario push I wanted to was going to be massive. Now, when I was like, oh, stop, he was like, okay, not again. I'm going to move back here outside. And, you know, I couldn't blame him from that. It was kind of a take back, but honestly, it's a gotcha move. And, you know what? This is a tournament for no prizes. Who cares? It would be pretty mean for me to gotcha twice with a counter charge. So as juicy as that would have been to get into the zone, didn't happen. And otherwise, yeah, that's really it. He scores a point and I score a point. And really, right now, this is exactly what I wanted. I knew that the Trident would be contesting on the left and that otherwise everything should be locked down. And now I'm in a spot where as long as I can kill the Trident, which should be really easy between, you know, Gatsby 4, the Nomad going in there, even Anastasia I can throw in there just for some extra damage to be sure. I have something to score every single flag. I can move back the injured Toro to my zone, and then Toro number 2 can go into the objective and just finish that off. And that should be a nice, easy 5-point win. Now, most of that went to schedule. One of the things that did have me kind of worried is that I forgot that the Hermit had been procced yet. I kind of assumed that it was going to be done after that first going in with the blockader thing. And so it did go and Hermit one of the attacks, my charge attack on the objective. I did have enough damage after to kill it. But wow, good thing that the Hermit was also making it so the armor of the objective was down as well, because that could have not gone the way that I had hoped. Otherwise, on the left side here, yeah, you might notice that there's still a Trident. And that's because everything went in, and most importantly, when Gatsby went in, Gatsby needs 6s to hit because the Trident has pretty good defense, and I missed 3 of them. Half of my attacks I missed against the Trident, and I leave it on 1 box. I couldn't believe it. You know, when you look at all, I have 6 POW 18s coming from Gatsby, a charging in POW 20 that should definitely hit because I get +2 to my attack roll with the Nomad. Anastasia in the back, you would just think that's enough. And so instead of then Lanissa just running onto the flag, I have to walk up and try and finish off the Trident because I might as well. And yeah, she doesn't do that either. So I'm going to be going up 5-1, which more importantly means I don't win by scenario. And now basically Mark has his option of either killing Magnus or just going on super attrition. And Mark probably took the correct route, which was just to go on super attrition, especially given the scenario score as it was. So as you can see here, he kills almost everything, and I'm really left with just getting my own Magnus right now. And so with that, I'm not scoring anymore. He's gonna score his own, the left flag, the right flag, and yeah, Rayvn's way back. I'm not really even in a spot where I can do anything impactful. So on my turn, all Magnus can do, so I could do something, is run back to my zone. So I score 1 more, but he's scoring 3 more. And then finally on the last turn of the game, he doesn't even bother going for Magnus. He destroys the objective. He gets everything onto a flag. He gets the Trident into my zone. So in fact, on this turn, he's scoring 6 points, and then he's going to be winning this 13-6. So that was really unfortunate. You know, it's one of those things looking back where it's like, oh, you know, if I just would have actually countercharged into his zone, it wouldn't have mattered. But again, I wouldn't want to have won that way, right? Winning that way was like, oh, the gotcha, the countercharge twice, you know, like that's just a feel bad type of game. And I was just like, that one damn Trident with that one damn box is what held up the big, huge, quick win I could have had here. So, what are you gonna do? That's the way it goes. I think overall I did make the right call. There's also the option too that maybe what I could have done is gone with, like, ambushing with Anastasia the turn before, and then maybe it could have ran over and tried to block the trident so it couldn't have gotten to a contesting spot with that flag. But I don't think that's the right thing to do either, because he had a solo over there that he might have then just ran in to also score the flag, which would have been even worse. So I really wanted him to think that that trident was going to be what was going to be holding things down there. So I don't know. I think I'm just going to chalk this one up to bad luck, but you guys can be the judge down to below. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and otherwise, we'll catch you later. Bye.